Hey guys, welcome back. I was just working on my seedlings and I was like, let me just take a few minutes to show my YouTube friends what I have going on and some of the cool garden updates we have going on right now. So these are the same seedlings that I started in my last long video, and as you can see, they're looking absolutely great. It's a really cold and windy day here, so I hope you guys can hear me. I hope there's no major issues with the audio or anything. And hopefully we're getting some rain and not just this awful cold wind. For those of you that are new here, I'm in Zone 7B, high desert area. And these are some seedlings, like I said earlier, that I started. It's only been a couple of weeks and these seedlings are looking absolutely precious. I mean, look at these right here. So this is the flat of tomatoes that I started. And then this is the flat of the peppers that I started. So anyways, guys, I haven't been doing anything fancy with these at all, and I just wanted to discuss with you guys seedling care after your seeds germinate and whatnot. So what I did was I had the humidity domes on top of these, and I put these inside on seedling heating mats to allow the soil to warm up, because tomatoes and peppers and eggplants, they do need warm soil to germinate, and we're still getting pretty cold like today. After 7 to 10 days or so, all of my seedlings pretty much sprouted, and once the majority of them start sprouting, I'll start taking off the humidity dome and allow airflow. I'll turn on a fan and let them get a gentle breeze. This is a perfect day to work on seedlings because it's kind of an overcast day, and the breeze is helping strengthen up the stems and everything as well. Once the seedlings have mostly sprouted and germinated, that's when I'll remove the heating mat. I'll start slowly and gradually removing the humidity dome so that nothing gets damping off or rotting because of too much moisture. But anyways, I just want to clarify that. Also, as you know, this is a lot of plants, so you might be wondering how you water all this stuff. So one thing that you can do periodically is just get a squirt bottle and water the ones that look a little bit dry. What you mainly look for is you want to see these cells kind of turn a light brownish color. So what I generally do is I let the cells kind of dry out just a little bit. This is a good example of one of the cells that are drying out a little bit. You want to let it turn a little bit light brown like that. As you can see, this one next to it is still pretty dark and pretty moist. I'll periodically go through and just put a little bit of water there just to kind of moisten it. I do put my seedlings through a little bit of stress. I think it makes them just a little bit stronger. In general, I wait to see light brown on most of the cells, and then I'll do like a mass watering, which I'll show you right now. As far as watering, you guys, and fertilizing, I don't do anything for fertilizer. The potting mix that I use has enough nutrients to get it to this stage. Now I'm starting to get the seedlings to where they're forming their true leaves and whatnot, and they're a lot bigger and everything, so I'll give them a little bit of diluted fertilizer today. So this is diluted fertilizer. It's seaweed fertilizer, but you can use anything really. Fish fertilizer works very well. Try to get something natural and organic. You don't want to burn these little baby plants. So I have my watering can here. I'm just going to put a little swig of that diluted fertilizer in here. I always prefer to bottom water my seedlings, so it's so simple, you guys. There's so many seedlings in here. So I remove the upper tray, carefully set that aside. Now I have my watering can with the water and the diluted fertilizer in it, and I'll go up about halfway or so. And then I gently set the seedling tray back into its place. So you just let that float for a little bit. As you can see, guys, the soil is starting to glisten as it takes up the water. Nice and moist. I'm just going to give this a few minutes to soak up all that water, and then we'll do the same thing with this tray. So as a rule, I try not to waste anything in my garden. This water is not going to be wasted. The excess is going to be used to water something else. And here's another comparison. As you can see, these are the watered cells on the right, and when it's unwatered, it looks kind of dry, crusty, and light brown like that. So now that most of this has been watered, I'm going to go ahead and gently remove this again. Set that aside. We'll let the excess drip out. And then I'm just going to repurpose this water. And the other way you know whether your seedlings need watering or not, you guys, is just by feeling the weight of it. When they're dry, they feel considerably lighter, the trays do. And now after this has been watered, there's a good hefty weight to it. So you know that it's well watered. So look for those signs, and that's when you know exactly the perfect time to water your seedlings. So I'm going to take this moment while these are getting watered to show you guys updates on a lot of the other seedlings that I did. A few days ago I released a short planting some seeds in a McDonald's cup, and I just have to show you the amazing results with that. Alright guys, so these are the cabbage seedlings that I started in my short video earlier. If you haven't seen that, go check that out on my channel. I just used a fountain drink cup here. Just make sure it's clear and make sure the lid is clear too. So all I did was put the seeds in here. I watered deeply once, and then after that I just put the lid on it, which has a hole in there for ventilation. You might want to just widen that hole up just to make sure it gets nice airflow. And I left it on the side of my house to get some natural light. It gets morning sun and then kind of shaded throughout the rest of the day, but you know, it's exposed to the elements, it's out here, it's doing really great. So you know, you don't need fancy growing trays and humidity domes and a grow light setup with heating mats if you don't have it. I mean, it can be as simple as this. And the nice thing with this is, you know, I'll just be able to plant these out whenever they're a little bit ready. Generally, my rule of thumb for transplanting out a seedling is to wait till it has 2 sets of true leaves. So I'm just going to let these do their thing. Periodically, I'll come through and just make sure that the soil is not too dry. As you can see, it looks pretty perfect in there. It's pretty cool to see as well. And then I love that with the transparent containers, you can kind of watch the root formation and everything too. So anyways, it's looking really good, working really well. So then, as you guys may know, that I love growing gourds. So I did the same thing with my gourd plants. So I have 2 right here that are doing excellent. Just look at those. Same thing with these. These are warm weather vegetables. They, you know, come from the subtropical regions, and so you know we're still getting nights, cold nights in the 40s, and some cold weather here and there. So they have really benefited from being covered with the lids and just being outside. And again, I don't have to bring them in and out when I need to harden them off. They're just gonna be ready to go. And just look at those beautiful roots. I just love looking at roots of plants whenever I can. So exciting to see that. I'm going to show you guys a separate video. I won't include it in this one on gourds, taking it from seed to seedling, just because it's kind of a different process than a lot of your regular seeds like I've shown you before, like the tomatoes and whatnot. One more thing. So the same concept applies. This is basically like winter sowing, but the same concept applies, the concept of these soda cups to anything really. So here I did the same thing, and these are some broccoli seedlings that I started in a juice cup. So same method here. The only thing is the cap is black and I didn't need it. I'm just using this because it allows ventilation, and it's been doing really well too. Again, as you can see, no effort really required other than just periodically checking through and making sure that there's water, it's not completely dried out. If you live in a rainy area, you won't even need to water. I don't think I've watered this cup once actually, and I live in the desert. So, you know, just kind of just super easy way to do things here. Take a look. So on that note, now that I'm showing you these containers, I just thought of this, but let me go and show you some updates on the winter sowing process. Alright guys, so I started these winter sowing jugs back in February, and not all of them are doing well. I just brought like the top 3 to show you guys that are doing really well. But to be fair, a lot of those were old seeds that I was going to get rid of anyway, so I just tried it, and not everything sprouted, but a bunch of them did. So first I'm going to show you this one, because this has done really well. This is the Green Magic Broccoli that I absolutely love, and it's actually time to take it out of this container, because as you can see, it's kind of outgrowing it right now. So I will probably reuse these containers too. Looking pretty good, you guys. Something's going on with this leaf. I'm not sure exactly what's happening there, but the leaves look healthy. It's looking pretty good. Not too worried about it. Not dry or anything like that either, so probably keep the dome on it still periodically, but the tape has to go, but it'll allow more airflow. But this is the green globe artichoke, and that's looking really well. Let's go in there. There we go. Beautiful. Bachelor button I've read is not too hard to start from seed. So as you can see, it's a jungle in there. So these will probably be ready to take the lid off soon as well. Alright guys, so these will continue to stay outside. I'll be closely monitoring. These guys will come back inside with me, and I think I'm going to slowly start bringing them outside, just keeping them in shade every now and then, letting them get that gentle breeze, and definitely we'll have a fan going for them as well. But that's it for today's video, you guys. Like I said, I will do a part 2 with the gourd seedlings, kind of showing you how I take it from seed to plant, and so I'll upload that pretty shortly. But thank you so much for hanging out and tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next one.